Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back with your daily crypto news and analysis. And today we're going to be talking about Aleph Zero. This is a project that I personally have been asked about quite a bit to do a review on. So I figured why not do a deep dive in on this project. So similar to other layer 1 protocols, I think that Aleph Zero definitely does have quite a bright future ahead of it, simply because of the participants that are already on the ecosystem, what they are focused on, and what has been, building out on Aleph Zero as well. I think that the technology stack around it is something pretty substantial. We're going to be addressing that. But of course, yes, I do have a few concerns around Aleph Zero as well. Now, those concerns are not that bad at all. First off, you could probably already tell the first one that I do have, which is, of course, the self-reported circulating supply. Now, this is not a big deal to me, but I do believe that they should have a full-on audit of their supply. I think that it will add a lot of confidence to, individuals looking into the project. I've always hated the idea of like self-reported, circulating supply, just because it does look a little concerning to, some individuals. Is it going to be a big red flag to me? Not necessarily. I've seen it on some other, assets as well before. Of course, they did have their full-on audit. Aleph Zero did have an audit with Trail of Bits, but that was more so on like the security of the network. But besides that, there's not a real major concern within the supply itself. There is, though, however, an inflation mechanism behind Aleph Zero that does release 30 million tokens per year, which we will break down as well, and that is my only real major concerns around Aleph Zero. But first, in regards to how early we actually are on A0, this did launch back in roughly around January. I should say like the token itself actually did launch back here, or the testnet, if you will. And since then, it did run up to about $3, and since then, we are in a downtrend due to us being in a bear market. I know that a lot of individuals are actually waiting for us to go below like 60 cents, for an example. I know that a lot of people have been saying like, hey, I'm going to buy at 50 cents or so. Doesn't really matter. I'm just going to be looking at, some major dips on A0. I think that going forward, this thing could be very substantial in regards to not only the price per A0, but if we do see the, correct adoption of these major networks by enterprise grade, customers, then a lot of these, assets, or I should say layer 1 networks, are in for a major move going forward. Now, of course, where can you buy A0? I personally am going to be buying on MEXC. You guys are more than welcome to buy on any other, markets or exchanges. Currently, Gate.io, Huobi, MEXC, and ZT are the ones that you could buy on, which also opens the doors for a lot of listing opportunities for A0 on some major exchanges like Binance, Coinbase, etc., which I also do look forward to seeing happening. Now, of course, let's break down the tokenomics. So, first off, over on diamondatlas.io, they do a great breakdown of the, not only the tech stack layer behind it, but also the use cases and things like that. Also the team, which shout out to them. They are great for that. In regards to the tokenomics, so we could actually open up this image real quick. So this is the main image that you will be paying attention to if you are paying attention to tokenomics. About 67% almost is the pre-seed, seed, public, pre-sale, and public. 10% is the team. And of course, almost 23, percent almost exact is the foundation. And talking more so about the tokenomics, I do have the full-on breakdown over here. And also, by the way, in terms of the inflation, it is outlined down here, 30 million per year. The max supply is infinite, which I know that could be a concern for a lot of individuals, but it's not really that bad, because if you think about it on a 10-year basis, it only adds about 300 million tokens to the actual total supply, which is still sitting under 1 billion tokens, which is substantial for a layer 1 network, if you actually compare it to other major networks around the space that have over 10 billion plus tokens. And we do see up here the breakdown of the pre-seed, seed, early community, public pre-sale, public team, and foundation. The team and the foundation, 80% is locked for 1 whole year and vested for over 4 years. So again, you don't have to really worry about, being dumped on in regards to this market. Public is about, 10 cents. That's when it fully got released. 30 million was about 10%. We do see public pre-sale about, almost 18, percent. Rest vested for about 12 months, by the way. And we do see early community, again, 15 million, 5%, 100% vested for 14 to 64 days. A lot of these early investors, by the way, have already had a lot of their, vested tokens released, or, again, have probably sold out, which is why you do see such a massive decline in the price from like $3 to, almost like 70 cents or so, or even, almost 63 cents. Now, Again, tokenomics are not bad at all. Even in regards to like the inflationary mechanism to it, it's not that bad. Now you might be wondering, why is there an inflation mechanism? Well, going over here, we do see the inflation mechanism. In order to ensure the liquidity of the ecosystem, a total of 30 million A0 will be generated yearly. And then we do see down here like 90% is distributed to validators and nominators, and then the remaining 10% would be added to the Aleph Zero Foundation's ecosystem fund, which is to ensure the general maintenance of the network's infrastructure and to deliver grants and funding to projects building on the network. So again, like the mechanism in regards to like the inflationary issue is not that big of a concern, and honestly I would actually welcome it. It's not that bad, and again, like 30 million A0 compared to what's even out there right now is not that substantial of a percentage of the, again, supply. But again, I will definitely say I wish that they did do a full-on audit of the supply and got rid of the self-reported, circulating supply. But also with the core features, so let's dive into the first off, value proposition. So we do see here, Aleph Zero is a privacy-enhancing public blockchain based on an original peer-reviewed consensus protocol, and an integration with the substrate stack is solved the shortcomings of the current distributed ledger technology platform: speed, validation time, scalability, and security. And I know what I'm going to be asked already. Which one do you think is better, HBAR or, A0? I'm not going to answer that question. I just don't care to compare and contrast these networks. To me, I diversify into some of the best networks that I personally see out there. And, I think that a lot of these networks do have, a seat at the table to eat. Going forward, I think that there's going to be a large portion of adoption for DLT, platforms. And also, I think that there's going to be a large portion of money flowing into these platforms, which again, all of them are going to succeed in regards to where they are positioned at. I don't really look at which one is going to be the king of all or anything like that. But also, down here with wide range of potential applications, that Aleph Zero can operate as a public ledger as well as a private instance connected to the public ledger. This allows enterprises to build decentralized projects that benefit from the speed and security of the public DLT platform while still being able to preserve the privacy of their transactions. We see Aleph Zero's protocol as masterpiece in privacy preserving distributed ledger technology development. And of course, down here are the core features: scalability up to 100,000 transactions per second in a fully decentralized system, in a test simulation of sample transactions on 112 nodes spread across 5 continents. And I know that everyone's going to say with like one node, Hedera could achieve like 500,000 transactions per second. Again, I'm not trying to compare these two at all. And, if you are trying to compare them, I just don't think that that is the best way of going about it. In fact, I actually think that Aleph Zero has a massive amount of growth left in it because of the market cap for it, because of the supply of the tokens, and also with what they're trying to build out. I think that this is a very substantial team and a substantial project, and we are going to be breaking down the team in a second here as well. But we do see peer-reviewed. The Aleph Zero Consensus Protocol has been officially peer-reviewed and accepted for publication in the conference proceedings of Advances of Financial Technology 2019, near fee or near free value transaction fees, if you will. And on average, a transaction on the network costs about a fraction of a penny. A0, decentralized, while Aleph Zero is DEG-based. It implements a large rotating and random committee to achieve decentralization, common wallet and decentralized exchange using advanced cryptography. Exchange your Bitcoin, Ethereum, and other digital assets on a non-custodial peer-to-peer decentralized exchange, which is also Common, by the way. That's the name of it. Common is actually pretty nice. I actually think that the technology stack behind that is pretty substantial. In fact, if we actually go to that wallet, I think that this is, or no, sorry, let's go to the homepage. I know that they break it down on the homepage. I've seen it before. We could, look at that. So let's scroll down. So here we have it. So here's Common. It's a decentralized exchange and a decentralized dark pool. The funny thing is that up here, moreover, the team is working on a truly trustless universal wallet called Common. I think that that is going to be substantial as well. I think that what they are trying to do here is pretty cool in terms of like privacy and security. And we also do see down here private smart contracts, customized functionality for automation and programmable contracts, hub and spoke model, sync your application to Aleph Zero's ledger, file storage application programming interface API hooks that allow seamless integration into interplanetary fill system, IPFS, and as well as proprietary data solutions. So again, the technology stack behind this is pretty substantial, and I think that with what they're trying to build out, like I said, I think that they are going to see a lot of growth for the ecosystem, as well as we're going to see a lot of adoption of this ecosystem as well. And we do see here Aleph Zero is an ecosystem that consists of Aleph BFT Consensus, a novel DAG protocol similar to ABFT on Hedera. They have their own consensus mechanism. Aleph Zero Cloud, decentralized file storage / IPFS, private smart contracts, scalable, self-executing private smart contracts, common decentralized exchange with a trustless universal wallet, liminal multi-chain privacy layer usable across all networks that bridge to Aleph Zero, and then we do see future infrastructure use cases. So these are all of the this is what the ecosystem consists of currently. And I definitely look forward to seeing a lot more, coming from the team in regards to the ecosystem itself. And of course, you do see the breakdown of the layer 1 tech stack here. And yeah, I'm very excited for this. And they do break down all the use cases here as well. So first off, they do mention both DLT and smart contract systems provide exceptional value propositions, notably regarding governance of the complicated mixture of assets, data, and equity that has become part of everyday life in modern society. Which, by the way, they do break down all of the use cases, even in regards to this, like Internet of Things, smart contracts, supply chain management, virtual game assets, and all that kind of stuff. But we actually have that over here as well in regards to the actual use cases. So you could read more about all of these use cases if you wanted to. They are focused on micropayments, but current systems are cost prohibitive, slow, and centralized. Which again, this is why Aleph Zero is great in regards to this area, because they are fixing a lot of those issues around payments in regards to micropayments themselves. But they are also focused on smart contracts, supply chain management. You could read all about this. I'm not going to read all about this because it would make this video 30 minutes long. I'm not going to do that deep dive, but you could definitely look at all of their use cases, as they are focused on some great areas similar to other networks as well. But I just think that this project is something substantial around the tech layer, as well as the supply around it as well. I think that it's substantial, and I think that the supply is very lucrative for a lot of individuals looking at a project that does have a very minimal supply for a layer 1, because again, a large amount of the layer 1 networks out there have very substantial supplies. And we do see implementation. Distributed ledger technologies are relatively new. Too many projects exist to assess every one of them in order to develop an enterprise solution. On each one's basis, the number of professionals, researchers, and developers that have experience in developing blockchain is still too small, and it's not particularly easy to create your own blockchain. That's why we want to share our experience and knowledge with others. As the Aleph Zero Foundation, we host an incubator, for new decentralized businesses that want to develop their own applications. The Aleph Zero Foundation and the Cardinal Cryptography, seek to support bold thinkers and developers in deploying their own applications on top of the network. So they're going to continue to build out solutions. They're going to continue to look out for more developers around this space. And we also do see a summary. It's one of the fastest, most scalable, and secure blockchains on the market. It offers a novel approach to many problems that we believe haven't been solved effectively yet. It can be used as a foundation for new digital economy, bring efficiency to various parts of our lives, and discover completely new ways that businesses, governments, and people communicate and exchange value online. And again, I share with you guys this because, very similar to Hedera, I actually do think that A0 is right next to it. I think that the use cases on this is substantial, and also around the partners and investors, you do see a very substantial list here around their partners and investors in general. Some very large names as well. Very excited to see where this project does go, because a lot of these names we know about, and they are some pretty high-ranking names, especially around the Swiss Asia Crypto Alliance area. We've talked about the Swiss area, and even Asia in general. Very large amount of adoption and growth in those areas as well. So very excited for this. And you also do see some of the advisors here as well. They're very transparent on this, and also their team is very transparent as well. You guys can learn more about their team as well. I believe that I thought that I had a list open here in regards to their team, but they have a very substantial team, fully doxed team, sorry. And you can learn all about them. They have a very great background as well. Some pretty high-ranking individuals as well, around the IBM sector. You also do see from major banks as well, ABB as well. So again, very high-ranking individuals, and I do believe that the team itself around a lot of these networks does matter. I think that knowing the team, understanding the team's backgrounds, that is a very confidence growing area for me as well. You guys know me. I love a team that is fully transparent on not only their resume, but their backgrounds, and everything around them. So I love to see that. And also around the ecosystem itself, they have over 450 smart contracts deployed on the testnet. Those will be launching on the mainnet themselves. And talking more so about the mainnet itself, we do see a ton of names that you could learn more about, from like the decentralized exchanges to NFTs, oracles, etc. Very substantial list as well, by the way. And you can look at some of these as well. And I just said like as well like 100 times. I do apologize. But over here we also do see a metaverse being built out on Aleph Zero, which is the Darkverse. This is a very early on metaverse project, but I'm very excited for this. I think that this is going to be a substantial project just from like the graphics alone, but also with what they are trying to focus on. Like, look at the graphics around this. It looks very interesting and very cool. And we do see that the storyline takes the participant into the bowels of the Leviathan, a cosmic beast that has been traversing the universe for billions of years. And we also do see like down here, by the way, there's R-rated activities in regards to this as well. So like, this is going to be pretty interesting. And we do see an essential part of the Darkverse is that the possibility of betrayal will be built into any type of the user activity. Therefore, multiplayer cooperation will be a constant prisoner's dilemma. Is it more profitable to keep the alliance and eventually win more, or to break it, anticipating the other side of betrayal? So again, they're doing something very diverse here. I'm very excited for this. And I think that in regards to choosing Aleph Zero, it was because of like the privacy and security layer. For an example, down here, like the metaverse has a dark side, but it's not, the bad behavior, you might be thinking of. The real dark side is the metaverse is unlimited data harvesting, impacting our privacy, security breaches, and constant stealing of sensitive information. So that's why they did choose, Aleph Zero. And we do see down here their, development aligns with Aleph Zero's roadmap for the next 2 years, with bridges to other networks being designed and built. As you're reading this, Darkverse users will benefit from enhanced liquidity, and the interchain privacy component, will make the broader experience truly unique. So very excited for this. And again, like, they are focused on Web3 adoption, and what better way to have Web3 adoption than have the metaverse, really kind of aligning with retail individuals adopting a network like this. So with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe to notifications on if you guys want more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord down in the description below. As always, up to you all. Have a beautiful day or beautiful night wherever you guys are on this beautiful world. This has been Nick. Peace out, guys.